Yo, good morning, everybody. How are you doing on this great Monday morning? Thanks for kicking off a morning with me here and kicking off a new week here on Winning Bets. We're going to talk our sports and talk our sports betting as well. Coming off a weekend, as I mentioned there. Hope you guys did have a fantastic weekend. Do let me know down in the comments section what you were up to this past weekend, all the great wins you had, of course, in the sports betting. Let me know down in the comments section as that thing is open. Again, welcome on into a new episode here of Winning Bets. Feels really good to be in here with you guys. Obviously, looking to keep the good times rolling right along as NBA playoffs are obviously going on, NHL playoffs, and more importantly, right here to us, MLB is going on as well. Before we get on into the show, I've shared with you guys in the past my friend Kevin, and that he was battling ALS, and I think I've mentioned it a few times here on the show, so I think it's only fair to just give you guys the latest update that yesterday Kevin decided enough was enough, and he didn't give up. He just said enough was enough, and he went ahead and passed away yesterday. So he doesn't have to struggle anymore. Kevin doesn't have to fight anymore. He can rest in peace. So, thinking about you, Kevin, and we're gonna sweep the fucking car today, Kevin. Gonna sweep the fucking car today, and just know that you're not struggling anymore, and we love you, Kevin. Oh, rest in peace, big guy. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and get on into the recap there, fellas. And let's recap last week, and let's see if we get to go ahead and ring that cash register. Throwing up that recap from last week. How about an 18-10 week, boys, and plus 7.81 units? Love that right there. Just a really good week with you guys, cash and bets. Only had a couple days in which we were unable to ring the cash register, but most of the time, last week was treating us really good. And obviously, year to date, you can see we get to ring the cash register for what feels like it's been a very long time, but coming off a fantastic week, we've now got our head above water, of course, on the year, plus 5.03 units. So you love to see that right there. And arbitrage year to date, hey man, if you didn't like sweating out, 3 soccer wins last week, if you didn't like sweating out Griffin Canning under on his strikeout props, or what about Sunday's 2-0 sweep if that was too much for you to handle? How about making arbitrage bets where you can bet both sides of a wager and you can put guaranteed free money in your pocket? How about a $600, a cool $600 could be in your pockets, just betting both sides of a wager? You love to see that right there. Remember last year, what was it, about $1,400, I think it was, free money that you had put in your pocket? Well, we're off to a nice start this year, again, as we went over the $600 mark, so you love to see that. What were those wins from last week? Let's go ahead and talk about those wins and losses from last week. How about a 3-0 week in soccer? We, of course, went 2-0 in the Champions League. Real Madrid, again, that one was a little bit lucky, a little bit fortunate there, as we had Real Madrid on the double chance, parlayed with the over 1.5 goals. The goals obviously come in nice and easily, but give Bayern Munich credit at home. They were much better. They were the much better team than Real Madrid, but we get a late penalty to go ahead and get the Real Madrid double chance. Dortmund PSG, that one was much easier. We had under 3 goals, and Dortmund wins the game 1-0. Did think Dortmund earned the victory. I thought that they were slightly the better team, so I thought the 1-0 result was pretty fair. And then, I would say don't be probably surprised if the opposite happens this week in Paris. But Dortmund gets the win. We get the under three goals in that game. And then we only had one one bet this weekend in the Premier League. Just kind of treading lightly in the Premier League. Just look at like Brentford Fulham, as a classic example of, you just really don't know what the hell you're going to get late in the season. But you know where you're going to get in that Sheffield Forest game. Sheffield, of course, relegated from the Premier League, but Forest fighting to avoid relegation. And it was just the both teams to score an over 2.5 spot. That's now hitting 8 of the last 9 matches from Sheffield. That's right, 8 of the last 9. I feel like that's a trend that, could continue the last 2 weeks of the Premier League. Sheffield just going for it. What's it matter to them if you concede 100 goals or if you only concede 90 goals in the Premier League? It doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter if you lose 2-1 or 5-1. You're going down to the championship. When you get to the championship, you're going to start level on points with everybody and level on goal differential. So their games are fun to watch. They're scoring, they're conceding, and of course that was our lone win this weekend in the Premier League. What about Nats on the F5 F5 money line? That's when they were going up against the Rangers, and you love to see that one right there. A good plus money bet right there. Another plus money bet: Dodgers and Diamondbacks F5 over 5.5. Remember, that was the night that there was 2 left-handers on the mound, and we know that's what the Diamondbacks do well, and we know that that's what the Dodgers generally do well. I mean, hell, they hit right-handers and left-handers, but you pair that up with the Diamondbacks who crush left-handers, yeah, you get a nice easy cash. A game ended 6-4 at the end of the 5 innings, so an easy cash right there. Griffin Canning, that was against the Phillies, right? We've cooled off a little bit on that, not in terms of our results, but just in terms of betting it, because the Phillies are getting a little bit more strikeouts these days. But before that increase happened, we were able to take advantage of Griffin Canning staying under his strikeout prop. Same thing with Charlie Morton against the Dodgers on Friday, a good plus money bet. Again, I mentioned the Dodgers and what they're doing versus left-handers, but goddamn, they're hot as well. And hitting right-handers, and versus right-handers particularly, they're really not striking out. So that was an easy bet right there. Of course, it's on the hook, but plus money bet, you're damn right you're going to take a stab at that one with what the Dodgers numbers look like. So that was a good one right there. Quantrill, that was good to us this weekend. And remember, the Colorado Rockies rolled into town taking on the Pirates, and I mean, I liked them every which way. I mean, I know on that Friday I took the F5 money line. I took the Pirates team total under through the first 5. The bet that made the card, though, was Quantrill over 15.5 outs, just absolutely cruising against the Pirates, going 6 strong. So love to see that right there. Love it when you just take a team that's what, like 8-26 or something. Just follow the numbers. That was a great spot for the Rockies, and especially for Quantrill, and he comes through for us right there. Wednesday was a great day, going 4-1. That was, of course, the Dortmund PSG under. Nats F5 on the run line, a little bit different from the play we mentioned earlier. That was the outstanding outing there by Trevor Williams. We're getting half a run. We really didn't need it because Trevor Williams was such a dog right there, escaping 2 bases-loaded jams with no outs, and he's able to wiggle out of that and preserve the 1-0. It was 1-0 after 5. But Trevor Williams was obviously the MVP right there. We thought we were going to get a little bit more offense. Nah, Trevor Williams was an absolute dog that afternoon. Yamamoto over on his outs props. Diamondbacks up against a right-hander. Yeah, you've heard that. You're going to go ahead and tail, fade, however, angle you want to go right there. This time we decided to tail Yamamoto, and boy, does he pitch one great outing going. I think it was well over 15.5 outs, whatever it was. He just had it out. Didn't even give up a run up against those Diamondbacks. He was outstanding. Ashcraft under 4.5 Ks, little sweaty as he ends the game with 4 Ks, but again, just a great matchup right there. I believe it was against the Twins, if I'm not mistaken, and he stays under 4.5. Or no, it was against the Twins, because the Twins was our only loss on the hook that day against the White Sox. Hell, maybe it was the Phillies. I don't even know, but whatever he did, he stayed under 4.5 Ks. 2-0 day on Sunday. Mentioned that. Just a great sweep, because we did get a little bit tripped up on Saturday in the MLB going 0-2. So it was nice to bounce back in the MLB going 2-0. A good plus 124 cash with the Rockies on the F5 money line. And then we hit Boyle there of the Athletics under 5.5 Ks. He got rocked. He only went 1 inning, pitched 35 pitches, 1 inning, had 1 K. Like, you ain't going to get much easier cash than that. And that one was like minus, what was that? Like minus 113, minus 114. Such a great easy cash. So you love to see that right there. What were some of those losses last week? We talked to you about that Padres one. That was just a mishap there in the handicapping. We thought one pitcher was a right-hander. He ended up being a left-hander. It happens. We try not to repeat that mistake again. Colorado Rockies and Marlins on that Nerfy. Just a bad beat. We watched that one on YouTube together. Just a missed strikeout. Just a missed, called strike on a curveball. Just set us up for failure. Really, I mean, that was like an error. I mean, the way that inning unfolded, that one was just like an error. He gave the Marlins an extra out and ended up biting us in the ass. So tough one right there. Best bet on Friday, Rockies F5 team total. We actually had a nice day on Friday, winning over 2 units, but the best bet did not come home. In fact, they didn't do anything against Chris Paddock. Really, really surprising that a hot offense like that, a pitcher who had just gotten crushed in all but one of his outings. He had himself another good outing. Unfortunately, dropped our best bet. We also lost the Yankees. Talked about how the Yankees just trip me up. Just keep betting them into good spots, but they just don't reward me for the work that I put into it. They win Saturday on the run line. They win Sunday on the run line. Yeah, Of course, I bet them on Friday on the run line, and they don't come through. So, tough one right there, but obviously didn't ruin our great week we had. Again, winning up over 7 units. And you can see it did have room on this one for the MLB season recap. Over 9 units, that's right, plus 9.24 units to the good. Hit that like button if you were part of those cashes last week, guys. Hit that like button if you were part of those cashes and let me know which one maybe was your particular favorite cash of the week. Let me know down in the comment section. Let's head to that comment section. And then before we do an MLB preview, we can, of course, talk about the Premier League game that's got going on this afternoon. Obviously, Manchester United in action at Selhurst Park, taking on Crystal Palace. Let's keep the good times rolling. I love that mentality, love that vibe, Tyler. I think we've got 4 great plays, 5 plays in total, because we've got a parlay, 4 plays per se. I think we're going to absolutely stay cooking, baby. I like it. Morning, Taylor. Hope you're doing well, man. You spent the weekend making money right beside you. I love that. Yeah, we did get tripped up a little bit on Saturday, but Friday was a great day, winning over multiple units. Sunday was a great day, winning over multiple units. It feels extra good cashing with you, Ryan, so love that, man. Love that. Appreciate those kind words. Appreciate it, fellas. Yeah, it was tough. That was tough. Appreciate that. Yeah. We'll have... We'll make sure we celebrate those memories, and that's all we can do. Just celebrate those memories, and he'll be with us. Ooh, your first marathon. Nice. Hell yeah. Gosh, that's just a hell of an accomplishment. Even just to be able to put in the training to even get to the point where you can run a marathon. Nice. Nice, Taylor. Hell yeah. The most I've done is a 10K. I've thought about doing a half. I mean, I guess I could do that. 13 miles. I just think it's boring. Don't you think running is just boring as shit? Like, how do you run 26 miles? It's to me, I mean, yeah, I don't think I could do 26. I could do a half, but the running would maybe should just be the boredom would set it. It's like, okay, F this, I'm done. So congratulations from a mental standpoint to be able to pull that off, and also from a physical standpoint. Good job, Taylor. You love to see that, man. All right, guys, let's keep those good times rolling. Let's go ahead and keep stuff in our pockets. Or no, first we were going to talk about this soccer game here. I hear you, man. I hear you. That's tough. That's tough, man. Well done. So what do we got? We got Crystal Palace taking on Manchester United. If you just look at recent trends in the head-to-head, it would suggest an under 2.5. I would hold off on betting that under 2.5 just because of Man United center back. Casemiro's obviously been filling in at center back. It's scary to think that you need Johnny Evans, because Johnny Evans, obviously he shouldn't even be playing. There's a reason why he was on the couch and United had to make the phone call. But you want Johnny Evans. Like, if you're going to take a stab at this under 2.5 because it's got such a great hit rate in the head-to-heads, I hear you. But you really want Johnny Evans. Otherwise, I think the only 2 things that, get me excited about this and betting it is I like Crystal Palace here. You just don't know what you're getting from Man United. I mean, drawing against Burnley, their match obviously against Sheffield not too long ago. You just really don't know what you're going to get. And, do the players want Ten Hag out? And are they sandbagging a little bit? Yeah, I don't really know, but it's just really hard to turn up. The one thing you do know is late goals. Late goals. If you're just sitting there watching this, or maybe if you're not watching this, just whenever maybe a live over happens in the second half, and I don't mean first half, you don't want to take a stab at the first half over, second half. United is just conceding goals late, sloppy penalties, mistakes, whatever the reasons are, late goals are happening. Perhaps you can take a chance at a live over, once it becomes a price in which you're comfortable at, maybe after minute 75 or so. But otherwise, I don't have a bet in this game. I like Crystal Palace here at home to kind of get a result. Their defense is good enough. I think both defenses are good enough to go ahead and get the under. I would wait on lineups, but kind of like how we only had one bet this weekend, in soccer overall, just dialing it back with kind of the late game or the late season, goofiness that you can kind of get in the results wise. So I'll lay off of it. Good luck. If you're going to go ahead and bet it, and good luck to Manchester United as they're striving to maybe make some European football next season. So let's get it, boys. Pick up the 3 points. I am not confident at all. What I am confident at is kicking ass in baseball again today. So let's get into that preview. All right, boys, welcome on into the payoff pitch where we get to break down every single baseball game every single day. And we'll do so whether it's on the menu there on the left-hand side. We'll give you some hitting props. We'll also give you some pitching props. What about the Nerfy of the day? What about just your best bet? And I've also got your favorite parlay of the day down there in double play. And make sure you hang around for the closer inning where I'll give you my official bets. And then if there's a game we haven't talked about, we'll do so in rapid fire where we'll talk about everything from a money line, run line, and over-under perspective. We want to go ahead and kick it off, though, in quick hits where I want to just give you my opening thoughts. I do think it's a good MLB slate. And like Ryan said, and like Tyler said, I just want to keep the good times rolling, boys. We're picking up some steam on the MLB. We're able to stack, good days in a row, and I want to do that again today with you guys. So let's jump on into the preview. We're second inning. We call it around the bases, where we get to take a couple games, where we get to break those suckers down, and I'm going to go to a team that we've personally talked about. We're not scared to back, but the public's going to be on the other side. So if you're going to go ahead and take a stab today at the Oakland Athletics, there's certainly no rush to go ahead and bet this. I'm seeing it right now at plus 126. When I started doing my handicapping, I think it was around about 4 a.m. this morning. They're around about plus 112. So naturally, everybody's just seeing Texas Rangers and they're just gravitating towards that way. Well, who do you think hits the ball better? Who do you think's got a better batting average? Who do you think's slugging more? Who do you think's got a better weight of runs created? Who do you think is striking out less? It ain't the Texas Rangers in any of those categories. I can tell you that. It's your Oakland Athletics who are hitting left-handers better than the Rangers. Now, how much better is it? Well, I'm hitting 260, you're hitting 245. I'm slugging 510, you're slugging 400. My weight of runs created is 125 and yours is 93. So some of those has a nice little advantages, and obviously you can see like batting average, it's relatively tight. I like how I'm not striking out at 22.6% compared to 29.3% there for the Texas Rangers. So you're getting the advantages from a hitting standpoint. Now, when it drops off and it becomes a right-handed bat, the advantages are going to slip back to the Rangers, but it's also pretty small, hitting 267 versus 250. Slugging 415, I'm actually slugging 453, and a weight of runs created gets pretty tight at 111 versus 100, where you're going to get more of your advantages again, right? So you project early in the game, it's two left-handers. I get the advantages as the Oakland Athletics. Now, when it becomes as a bullpen game, I would say you get a touch slim advantages maybe with the Rangers from a right-handed hitting standpoint. But the bullpen advantages are coming at you absolutely in spades. Opponent's batting average 129, number one in Major League Baseball for the Athletics. WHIP a .76, number one in Major League Baseball. ERA a 1.3 checks in at third best in Major League Baseball, and the FIP at 2.47 is tied for second best in Major League Baseball. Meanwhile, if you look at those Texas Rangers, they're in the bottom 10 from a bullpen. So I like the Athletics. I think this game will be close. I think it'll be low scoring. And, of course, I want the better bullpen late game in those situations. The only reason this bet didn't make the card is because Andrew Heaney hasn't faced the Athletics this season, and Alex Wood has faced the Rangers so far this season, and that'll give the advantages to the Rangers in the situation of a little bit of a hitter familiarity. But other reason, no way in hell the Rangers should be, I don't even think they should be favored, to be quite honest, but they certainly obviously shouldn't be this big of a heavy favorite. So the Athletics today, plus 120, plus one, it's getting to be around plus 130. Again, hold out if you want to take a stab at the Athletics. I'm going to be keeping an eye on this series because I mentioned that the Athletics obviously have the advantages. Hopefully we can get to a pitching matchup where there's not the hitter familiarity, and then I won't be, I don't want to use the word scared now to pull the trigger, but we do know hitter familiarity is a real thing. So I will lay off of it, but boy, Athletics shouldn't be dogs and certainly shouldn't be anywhere near this big of a dog. So give me the Athletics today on the money line. Another game I want to talk about here and around the bases is Angels. They're taking on the Pirates. A little bit of a tough one, but I do think this under 7.5 is a little bit too low for my liking, so I do like the over in this matchup. Hitting-wise, it's not like great hitting, I would say, on either side. The Angels are about middle of the pack when we're talking about left hitting right-handers, and of course Mitch Keller's on the mound. You know what you're going to get from Mitch Keller. You're going to get a few walks. He loves to pound the zone. Stuff's not too overpowering. Obviously, you have a Mike Trout-less offense, which maybe hurts an over. But although he's going to stay in the zone enough to make you barrel it up to where I like the over. And the Pirates versus left-handers, they're also decent enough in their own right, hovering about league average. The weighted runs created is above 100, so you love to see that right there. Where I think we can really get to this over is this Angels on the bullpen. I mean, ERA's over 6, FIP's over 5, the WHIP's over 1.8, the opponent's batting average is 4th worst in Major League Baseball, basically at 300, sitting at 299. The Pirates bullpen is better. This is another one where I definitely don't bet Pirates minus 162. This was one when I was doing the handicap and it was around minus 140. This one's gotten way too big for the Pirates to be at minus 162. I know the Angels bullpen is bad, but you're not getting enough hitting advantages. And the Pirates closer, Bednard, or whatever the hell his name is, he's pitched the last 2 days. So the Pirates don't even have their closer in this game in a tight situation should it come down to it. They're going to be using maybe a Aroldis Chapman, although he did pitch yesterday in his own right. Don't quite know, but for sure they're not going to run out their closer on 3 days rest, or 3 days in a row. So I like the over 7.5. Just a touch too low. If it was 8.5, yeah, you probably go ahead and lay off of it because the hitting's not great. But at 7.5 with weak bullpens here with the Angels, I like the over 7.5. If I was forced to, take a money line bet on this, I would do the Angels. Just a little bit too big of a dogs for me, but the over to me is the better play in that one. So Angels, Pirates, over 7.5 in that game. Let's go ahead now and shut up and pitch. That's what we like to do here in the third inning, is give you guys a couple pitching props every single day. And we'll kick it off here with Luis Castillo of the Seattle Mariners, under 6.5 Ks. Gave it out at plus 116. It's right around even money now on FanDuel. He's under in 3 of 7 starts so far this season. The Twins do the 2 things we're looking for if we're going to go ahead and take an under. Not only can you avoid the strikeout at 18.5%, but also how are you just hitting the baseball? Is there an opportunity for you to maybe chase Luis Castillo early? And yes, there is 2 things actually. We actually get an extra bonus, one that we don't get to talk about too often. From a hitting standpoint, we're hitting 272 or 806 OPS and 432 slugging with a 135 weighted runs created. Suggests that we have an opportunity to really do some damage, chase him earlier on, in this game, which is also another reason why I kind of like their F5 team total over 1.5 at minus 120. But the other thing that could get Luis Castillo's pitch count up, chased out early, is also the Twins have a really high walk rate at 12.6, and actually checks out at number 1 in Major League Baseball, tied actually number 1 with the Dodgers at 12.6. So we're going to draw a lot of walks. We're not going to strike out. And we have a chance to really do some offensive damage to you. I like the Luis Castillo under 6.5 Ks at plus 116. I also like another pitching prop, but this time I like an over. I like Justin Steele coming off the injured list and making a start today at over 4.5 Ks. This is another one. Gave it out at plus 122. It's hovering basically at around even money on FanDuel right now. The Padres are striking out an absolute ton at 32.4%. They can't hit left-handers worth shit. Their batting average is 147, and their weighted runs created is 44. Not a lot of power to the plate at 309 as well. From a slugging standpoint, the OPS is 492. That is just god-awful. So the Padres can't hit left-handers, striking out a ton. He cashed it on his season opener. He had 6 strikeouts up against the Texas Rangers. Then probably would have gotten more because, quite frankly, he hurt his hamstring trying to field either a bunt or a ground ball, either one. So he probably even gets more. He can stay in that game a lot longer. He was cruising. But last season, he also faced the Padres and went over 4.5 K. So no real issue with him coming off the DL just because he threw 63 pitches in his last minor league start. Bump him up another 20-ish. He's getting 80. He's getting 85. All indications are he's ready to go. Facing a Padres that struggle, striking out. I like Justin Steele to have over 4.5 Ks at plus 122. Dogs, long shots. That's what we talk here in the 4th inning. What's a dog on the board? There's actually like a fair amount of dogs. Like you could talk me into taking a stab at the Athletics. Obviously, you could talk to me taking a stab at the Angels. You could tell me to take a stab. I think the New York Mets. I kind of like them today. I also like the Twins, though. That's going to be the official long shot is the Twins. I just really like them. We talked about in Luis Castillo how, the Twins are just doing really everything good, from a right-handed hitting standpoint. If you look at what the Mariners are doing, hitting 205. .390 slugging, 675 OPS, weighted runs created 100, and obviously they strike out a fair amount at 28.4%. That's kind of what the Mariners have done the majority of this season so far. So you can see those numbers are good, drastically behind anything that the Minnesota Twins are doing. From a bullpen standpoint, I still definitely like this Mariners bullpen for sure, but I get the better ERA and WHIP. Mariners get the better FIP and opponent's batting average. They're pretty tight. I'm striking out more with a higher K per 9 coming up out of the bullpen. I just think at plus 115, I think they'll manage Woods Richardson pretty good because you can see he's not getting the longest lease out there. And then I'm being backed by a really good Twins bullpen. About even from the Mariners, again, to be fair. But I'll take my hitting advantages that I'm getting here in spades up over the Seattle Mariners. So I think Twins today will be your dog of the day. You can get them at around about plus 115. So that's the dog of the day. And again, remember, I do like the Twins F5 team total over 1.5 as well, minus 120. At least what it was a few hours ago. Not quite sure what it is now, but I like the Twins today. Knock off the Mariners. Fifth inning, keep swinging. I'd like to go ahead and give out some hitting props today. Let's talk about Francisco Lindor there of the Mets. He's 19 for 54 up against Kyle Gibson. So love the sample size. Love the hit rate in this one with those 54 at-bats getting 19 hits. So give me Francisco Lindor. I like a little bit more of Marcus Semien, who you can get at plus money for over 1.5 total bases. He's 4 for 9 up against Alex Wood. 2 doubles and a triple. He's barreling his shit up. We've mentioned how Alex Wood already faced the Rangers earlier on this season, which is just kind of gets me off the money line. Marcus Semien is going to keep it rolling up against Alex Wood, so I like his over 1.5 total bases at plus money. Sixth inning, it's a steal. Like to go ahead and give you a nerfy of the day. Get in, get your cash, and get out. That to me is a steal. We'll do so today in the Mets-Cardinals nerfy, minus 105 over on BetMGM. Cardinals can't hit left-handers. They're only hitting left-handers to the tune of 138. Mets are better, but it's only up to 220. Kyle Gibson is a ground ball pitcher, so you know what he's going to try and do. He's going to pound the bottom of the zone and get you to induce weak ground balls, so we like that in terms of a nerfy. These teams are 4th best and tied for 11th best in terms of their nerfy percentages on the year. They both come in at 76 and 79 respectively. Again, basically top 10 in the MLB. Coming in, the Cardinals are tied, or the Mets. The Mets are the team that's tied for 11th. The Cardinals are 4th best in terms of getting the nerfy. I just like how we've got weak batting averages from these teams. We've got 2 pitchers that will put the ball on the ground and induce ground balls. Good nerfies. It's at minus 105 on BetMGM, so I like that price. Give me Mets Cardinals as your nerfy of the day. 7th inning coming to a stretch. This category could just be, or not annoying, but just frustrating when your best bet doesn't hit, but like you have a good day overall. Let's go ahead and get that best bet to go ahead and cash today. I'm going right back here to this Mets Cardinals for my best bet and taking the Cardinals F5 team total under 2.5 runs at minus 130. Look at Sean Manaea's had 6 starts. You know he's gotten cashes in 5 of his 6 starts, and he's gotten a cash against the Dodgers included in those 5 cashes. And in those 5 cashes, only one time have you only been on the hook. He's either given up 0 or 1 run in those 5 cashes. So not even really getting sweaty wins. Relatively easy wins as well. Again, he's got a win this season up against the Dodgers. And then we look at the Cardinals versus left-handers, and it's just god-awful. It's bottom 5. Again, they're hitting 138. They're slugging 241. The OPS is 433, and their weighted runs created is 25. The only thing they do well is they avoid the strikeout at 17.7%. Other than that, they're not doing anything well from a left-handed hitting standpoint. That does, though, make me like Sean Manaea under 4.5 Ks at minus 104, where he's been under on 3 of his 6 starts. But I'm not going to take a chance in that. I'm just going to take a chance of the Cardinals just continuing to doing what they do versus left-handers overall, which is struggle. And then you pair that with Manaea, again, 5 cashes and 6 starts. I really like that. And they're not even sweaty cashes as well. So that'll be my best bet of the day. Cardinals F5 team total under 2.5 runs at minus 130. Got to go ahead and give you a parlay. Like to do that every single day. And today's parlay is going to be a good old money line parlay. Let's, I guess, first do the easier of the 2 legs right there. Dodgers on the money line. It's basically minus 300. Yeah, you're getting the hitting advantages in spades. you're getting the bullpen advantages absolutely in stage. This is a Dodgers bullpen that we've kind of talked about when we were previewing that Braves series on Friday. Remember, we took the Dodgers at -110. We talked about their great hitting. We talked about their great bullpen. Obviously, you're coming off the sweep of the Atlanta Braves, and you still have those advantages in spades between your bullpen and your hitting. And you get Walker Buehler back. He's making his season debut, coming off missing the past couple seasons. Don't really care if he goes deep into this game because that's how good the Dodgers bullpen's numbers look. And then you want to even compare them to the Marlins, and then they look even really good. So I'll go ahead and take the Dodgers as the first leg in this parlay, and I'm going to go ahead and parlay them with the Kansas City Royals. Kansas City Royals. This is a team that we've kind of been talking about in kind of from time to time. I know it's been more free rolls than official plays, but we've been talking about them, kind of been on them. I just like their hitting advantages and their bullpen advantage over the Milwaukee Brewers, to be quite fair. From a hitting advantages, yeah, you're getting those pretty much in spades. The only thing the Brewers are doing is they're bringing more power, but they're not bringing a great batting average versus left-handers. They're only hitting 197. The OPS is 647, so it's decent. The weighted runs created is at 90, striking out average amount at 24.7. Here come the Royals. They're hitting 251, so obviously you can see where the Brewers were below the Mendoza line. I'm substantially well above it at 251. Relatively the same power at 687, weighted runs created at 92. They don't strike out at 16.3%. They're going to make Bryce Wilson absolutely work to get as many innings. And this is a guy that's been a bullpen guy, made a start in his last outing. Yeah, he went 6 strong, but it was against a weak team. Now he's going to get this Royals team because they're much better than the Rays, which is who is only starting. His last start was up against them. And then bullpen advantages. How about your Brewers coming in dead last in opponent's batting average at 320? How about coming in 4th worst whip of 1.7? How about coming in with the 3rd worst FIP of 505? And how about coming in with the bottom 5 ERA at 6.4? So giving up a ton of home runs out of that bullpen, are they? At 1.47 home runs per 9 innings. And you just compare that to the Royals. Yeah, I know it's not off the page is great, but we're doing a comparison, right? I don't need to be better than the other 29 teams. I just got to be better than what's a bottom 3 bullpen of the Brewers, and I'm better than that. My ERA is just under 5. My FIP is under 4. Whips 1.4, and opponent's batting average at 257. So I'm doing it just all better than what the Brewers are. I'm not scared. Give me the Brewers today. Take it on the Brewers. I like them. Now I'm seeing it's a -135. So I could almost play that alone, but I thought there was enough advantages with the Dodgers that I thought it was well worth making it a parlay. So Royals, Dodgers, money line parlay. What I tweeted it out, plus something, plus 135, plus 135 for that parlay. So there it is right there. Let's go ahead and throw up the official bets that we'll go ahead and ride with today. And then we will talk about every single game from money line, run line, over under perspective, and see if we can't use the DraftKings early too. See if we can go for our 7th straight win. That's right. We're riding a 6-game win streak on the DraftKings early 2 promo. Let's see if we can use that. Throwing up the official bets though. Let's go ahead and ride it with that Cardinals F5 team total. Best bet of the day. Always going to make the card. Royals, Dodgers, money line parlay. And give me those 2 pitching props I mentioned. 1 and under and 1 and over today. So a good card. A card in which I'm really excited about. Look forward to cashing these guys. So yeah, let's run through rapid fire, and then we will. What's up, Brian? Thank you, Brian, for the nice, kind words, man. That was wild, man. That was wild. You told me, or I've told you, super speedways I just personally hate. Short tracks sucked under the next gen, but intermediates, that's where it's at in NASCAR right now. Yeah, fantastic. Royals or A's for the easiest 2 runs cash today. I'll tell you who I used mine on. I didn't use mine on either one of those. Obviously, I like the Royals. If you want to use it on the Royals, for sure. A's with Alex Wood. Again, kind of the same reason Athletics didn't make the card. Yeah, I didn't do that, but I hear you. I'll tell you who I used it for. Let's kick it off here. Giants and Phillies with an over-under of 7.5, plus 180 for the Giants. Phillies coming in at -218. You got Mason Black making his MLB season debut. It kind of made this one, tough to handicap. We know what the Phillies are. Generally speaking, though, with right-handers, they're better across the board. Than the Giants. Bullpen-wise, it's neck and neck. I mean, it's neck and neck when I'm talking about bullpen-wise. Phillies have actually improved a little bit, so it gives you some encouragement that the bullpen's not going to blow games late in games, or at least in this stretch that they're in right now, or entering right now. I mean, some of their numbers look pretty good, but Mason Black was the real reason that it just kind of tough to handicap a dude on his MLB season debut. So I like the Phillies. Should they be minus 218? Probably not that high. But yeah, I like the Phillies on the money line with Zach Wheeler on the mound and an improving bullpen over the last 10 days. Tigers and Guardians with an over-under of 7. Plus 102 for the Tigers. Guardians come in at minus 122. You're seeing this total at 7 because, it's the Tigers bullpen. It's also the Guardians bullpen. 2 bullpens we've talked about. And 2 teams that are just struggling right now to hit right-handers. Flaherty has the more than in the bag as a ground ball pitcher to, kind of pitch deep into this game. So, and McKenzie going up against a struggling Tigers team. 7, though. Damn, that's awfully low. If I was to go ahead and bet this one, it would probably... where we got here. Yeah. Man, tough one. The hitting is close, but nothing to get too excited about. I would damn, that 7's tough. I would the under can be justified with the way the bullpens are, the way the offenses struggle. And then I would just go ahead and take the plus money, even though it's just plus 102. But, yeah, definitely a game to lay off. I was actually trying to do Jack Flaherty under on his strikeouts, if you want to know, to be honest, because the Guardians just wanted to be these teams that don't strike out. I thought we were going to get a high number on Flaherty because if you look at the back of his baseball cards, he's kind of been getting the strikeouts. But that 5.5 number, nah. That's just too low for me. I was hoping to get 7.5 or 6.5 at the worst, and then I thought the under was worth it, but yeah, not at 5.5. Angels and Pirates over under of 7.5. Angels plus 136, Pirates minus 162. I will take that over, and I will take the Angels plus 136. White Sox and Rays, and I'm seeing it live right now on DraftKings. They're not telling me who's starting this game, so I didn't even handicap it. So how about the White Sox? That offense is definitely turned up. I'm sure, at least from right-handed perspective, they're probably better than the Rays. Oh, yeah. Once we get some announced starters, but it's going to come down to that bullpen. You never want to take the White Sox on any full game, anything. The Rays bullpen is, where's the Rays bullpen? Oh, there it is. So, man, that's actually a struggling bullpen in its own right. What's that over-under at? 7.5? I kind of like the over, but of course, we don't know who the starting pitchers are, but I kind of like the over in that game. Brewers and Royals. I already told you I like the Royals on the money line with an over-under of 8.5. I just like that. Obviously, I like the money line enough. I mean, put a unit on it. So, that over-under. Probably go over. That's a tough one. I like the money line a lot more, so... Yeah, money line. Mariners minus 115. Twins minus 105. So no longer at plus money is the dog of the day with an over-under of 8. I do like the Twins. Of course, I'm not going to come off of that. They're my dog of the day. So go ahead and give me the Twins at minus 105. Padres and Cubs with an over-under of 7.5. Minus 110 up against minus 110. Well, why is that minus 110 up against minus 110? From a bullpen standpoint, really shouldn't be that close. If you're backing the Cubs today, don't do anything on a full game perspective. While you do get some hitting advantages because the Padres are struggling versus left-handers, and we talked about Justin Steele on the over, all your advantages just go bye-bye big time when the bullpens come in. And then what do the Padres do? We've been backing the Padres. Remember, it was Friday night on the money line. They were going up against a right-hander. They are still just crushing right-handed pitching. So no way in hell I would take the Cubs on anything full game related. I do like the Cubs through the F5. So much, in fact, with the Padres struggles versus left-handers, the Cubs, they're struggling a little bit versus right-handers. But boy, those Padres are really struggling versus left-handers. That is where I use DraftKings early 2. DraftKings early 2, minus 110, went on the Cubs. God, I would be so nervous to take them on any full game perspective. Really would be really, really nervous. The Cubs did face Yu Darvish earlier this season, so I like that even more for the DraftKings early too. Some of that hitter familiarity that we talked about in the Rangers versus Athletics series. Yeah, that's where I use DraftKings early too. I will also take the over 7.5 with. I really wouldn't do Cubs full game money line, folks. I mean, it's shit on a stick right now. ERA is over 8, FIP over 4, WHIP 1.85, 317 opponents batted average. It's just All gross. I mean, it's really gross. And then go compare it to the Padres, and you're like, wow, they get some really nice bullpen advantages. I will take Cubs F5 money line and over 7.5. Of course, you really want to be on Justin Steele over 4.5 Ks. Mets and Cardinals over under of 8. Cubs at even, or Mets at even money. Cardinals minus 120. Wrong team here is favored. The only concern would definitely be Edwin Diaz for sure. Kind of faltered here as of late. Faltered again yesterday against Rosarena. That's the concern. I mean, that is the concern. Even though the bullpen numbers are better than the Mets, you can see where they're trending, like going down, right? We do this every 10 days, and Mets are coming down, and it's highlighted by their closer slipping up a little bit here lately. But I still like the Cubs or the Mets. I would still do them at plus 100. With the hitting advantages they have. You add in the Cardinals, they're still not hitting the ball great versus right-handers. In fact, the Mets are better when you compare right-handers versus right-handers. When it does become a bullpen game, you do still get hitting advantages. You get bullpen advantages. I like the Mets at even money. And I like the under 8, though. Under 8. Those Cardinals should really struggle today. I really like how this season that Manaea is having. So I'll take under 8 and Mets on the money line. Rangers and Athletics. I like the Athletics at plus 120 with an over-under of 7.5. That's another tough over. That's a really tough over. It's all going to come down to Alex Wood. What can he do? I like the under, though. I mean, if I'm liking the Athletics enough, I'm going to hope that Wood can do it, even though he's seen the Rangers. It was a handful of starts ago. So I like the under, and and I like the Athletics plus 120. Athletics bullpen is really good after losing yesterday's game. So, yeah, Athletics plus 120, under 7. And then Marlins, Dodgers. Yeah, I mean, I put the Dodgers in a money line parlay, the over-under of 8. You just to hit it over, you would probably need the Marlins to do a little something, but Bueller's tough. They're below league average versus right-handers. I like Dodgers on the run line. I actually did play Rogers on the run line as a standalone piece. It's now minus 142, which is one of those things where it's gotten out of control. I bet it at minus 120. It's obviously better at minus 120, but it's still good enough at minus 142 with the hitting advantages and the bullpen advantages they are getting. But so for rapid fire, yeah, I do like Dodgers on the run line. So that's how I would do it right there. And Cubs for me for the early 2 there, Ryan. All right, that's all the MLB games. That's the only Premier League game that we've got going on today as well. So there's the full breakdown. Let's cash it, boys. We've got 4 plays. Cardinals F5 team total. It's going to go ahead and be your best bet of the day. Royals and Dodgers on the money line parlay. Castillo under 6.5 Ks. Steele over 4.5 Ks. Any other questions today, fellas? What else we got? Anybody want to drop in one last question on this great Tuesday? Monday. Tuesday. It ain't Tuesday. I don't know why I said Tuesday. What else we got, fellas? I'll hang till 11:45. I'll hang for 2 more minutes, see if you got any other questions coming in, or we just set with this great 4-bet suite that we've got. Because it does smell like a sweep. It does smell like a sweep. I absolutely love the card, fellas. Love where we're at. Love all the plus money bets we've got. Love our best bet of the day. Let's go. Let's get it, boys. Anything else? What else we got? I was going to look at that, just pop an eye at that price. Wow, Athletics down to plus 114. Okay, now it's all of a sudden coming the other way. So climbing up, now Athletics down to plus 114. So all of a sudden going the other way. Sportsbooks are listening to our show these days. Yeah, they were getting to be too big of a dog. I mean, their bullpen advantages are, to be fair though, their bullpen advantages are good up against most teams. That bullpen's just damn good. I don't know, Ryan. I'm contemplating your singular question of Royals or Athletics. I guess I would go Royals, but that's tough. I guess I would go Royals. It's tough. Looking at the Premier League game, you like the under or Crystal Palace more? Man, I really want to see line. I don't like the under if Casemiro is a center back. I can tell you that. So don't bet that ahead of time. You really are hoping Johnny Evans is match fit and he can start. And That'll push Casemiro's up, even though I've bagged Casemiro as a midfielder. He's looked like shit. You just don't want him as a center back. Pre-match, I like Crystal Palace more. United don't seem to be showing the fight. A team that's fighting for Europe. They don't seem to be a team that's fighting under Ten Hag, and who knows if they want Ten Hag out. There's rumors all season long. There's been rumors of they don't like how he forces them to train too hard. Maybe they're just sandbagging it so they can get a new manager because it's a real play because they got a new owner. Pre-match, I like Crystal Palace double chance more. I know it's juicy. It's like minus 180, where the under is about plus 150. But I'd hold off on lineouts on the under. But yeah, I like Crystal Palace more for sure. I like Crystal Palace more, especially at Selhurst Park. But United struggle up against Crystal Palace, so you do have that in your favor as well. But I like Crystal Palace. And I'm hoping United gets the 3 points though. Boy, they need it to keep up with the race for European places. But yeah, give me Crystal Palace more. And if you get Johnny Evans, you won't be the only one on under 2.5. I'll tell you that. It won't make the card though. It won't make the card. United concedes too many late goals, but just Palace doesn't have a great offense. That's why I think the under's in real play. So. Good luck, Taylor, betting that one. That was a tough game because United is they've been so wildly inconsistent all season. They can't seem to stack up. They can't even stack up good, shitty performances in a row, or they can't even stack up good performances in a row. They're just too inconsistent. So, yeah, no way that gets my money for a card. So, good luck. All right, boys, that's how we'll go ahead and do it. Four bet sweep. Go ahead and lock it in. Sprinkle the parlay. Have yourself a great day, fellas. Come on back for tomorrow. We'll preview, I assume, not today was a small slate, but it wasn't 15 games. Let's do a look ahead. Damn, I love the look ahead. I love it. Let's do the look ahead. All right, hold on. Let me pull it up. Let's pull it up. Look ahead. Here we go. Tuesday's slate. Rangers and Athletics. We're getting an undecided and Ross Stripling. Well, we know the Rangers are better versus right-handers. Yeah. You're not going to take the Athletics tomorrow, I can tell you that. Oakland's actually hitting right-handers pretty damn good, too. That could be an F5 over. If you can get a left-handed... Do the Rangers have another left-handed starter, or is it just Heaney? You're probably going to get a right-hander, I would think. That could be an F5 over. That could be an F5 over. Need some action. I feel you, man. I feel you. Sitting around. All right, we got the Tigers and Guardians. Maeda versus Logan Allen. Well, nothing's going to change from how I feel about the Guardians because that's another right-hander. And Maeda's actually turned it around his last starter. So, Tigers, I don't think they are hitting left-handers. Yeah, they're not hitting shit. So, see how today unfolds. See who uses their bullpen arms, that kind of thing. Who uses their high-leverage guys. Angels and Pirates, you get a left-hander. Oh, okay. I've been bagging on the Pirates, right? We faded the Pirates on Sunday to a cash with the Rockies money line. We faded them on Friday with Corn Trills out. We know they are much better versus left-handers. So they're facing Sandoval. We know that the Angels are facing another right-hander, so probably an over in that one. I like the over today. I really like the over tomorrow with Pirates facing a left-hander. So, but you probably won't get 7.5 though. You'll probably get an 8.5 number, but I still like that over. I still like it. Diamondbacks and Reds. Nick Martinez up against Zach Gallen. Are the Diamondbacks still struggling versus righties? Yeah, of course they are. They've been struggling all season. That has not just been a 1 or 2 week thing. They've been getting their ass whipped all year by right-handers. Reds versus right-handers. Oh, Oh, Gallon's a good one, to be fair. Oh, they're struggling too. Below the Mendoza line, hitting 190. Come on down with the Diamondbacks. That smells like an under, at least an F5 under. I wouldn't do a full game under with that Diamondbacks bullpen. It hasn't. Yeah, woo, no. That's bottom 5. So one of these classic ones that we talked about on Friday where it hit on the Cubs game. I told you guys that would go F5 under, but full game over. When I mean full game, I don't obviously mean it's going to re-get to a 7.5 over when it's been no runs. I mean, whatever the live over is, like when they hang you a 3.5 or a 2.5, that's the over you take. And that's what I mean when I say you're going to get an F5 under and a full game over. It happened exactly in that Cubs game. I bet it. That's what could happen in this Diamondbacks Reds game is an F5 under, but a full game over. Blue Jays Phillies. We're getting a right-hander for the Blue Jays. Love that. Maybe you're able to take Barrios' under or just Barrios' struggle in general. Blue Jays, okay, versus left-handers, and they're going to see Sanchez. Orioles versus Nationals. Corbin Burns up against my dog, Trevor Williams. Oh, God, what a cash last week. 2 righties on the mound. Ooh. Oh, no, I'm looking at the left-hander tab. I was like, wait. Yeah, Baltimore struggles versus right-handers. Holy hell. Am I going to do Trevor Williams again? No, this is a good Nats F5, actually. This could be a good Nats F5 spot. Orioles, just awful versus right-handers. Now, that being said, you're going to have a hard time probably hitting Corbin Burns. He's really good. So it could be an F5 under. We'll just see. People are going to bet Orioles. So you're going to get a good, when people talk about value, here's where the stats, at least through the F5, will be all in your favor from a hitting standpoint. And again, give Trevor Williams some goddamn respect. We will certainly give him respect. We know how big of a dog he can be. There's going to be value tomorrow on the Nationals, 100%. People will just back Corbin Burns blindly and the Orioles. So we'll see what those prices come in, but I like that spot tomorrow. White Sox and Rays. Well, we don't know who's pitching today, but we already got 2 starters for tomorrow, 2 right-handers. So kind of like the White Sox. Nothing on the full game again, but I kind of like them at least earlier on. Astros and Yankees. 2 right-handers on the mound. All right. Let's look at this one. We didn't get to handicap this one today because neither team is playing. They're the Astros. Where are the Yankees? Where are the Yankees? The fuck are they? Oh, there they are. Wow, I wasn't looking high enough up the table. I was looking down worse than the Astros. No, there's the Yankees humming right along, pretty good. Going to face Verlander. They're not striking out at 19.3%. Neither is Houston. That's going to put the Luis Hill one because he strikes out a ton of dudes, ton of the guys. But so probably wouldn't take an under because it's not a good pairing, right? Not a good pairing. Red Sox and Braves. Ooh, Braves. Swept by the Dodgers. Struggling mightily. Boston. This is another one. There's going to be value. There's going to be I don't know if people are going to blindly back the Braves, but I bet they would. Value should be on Red Sox. Brewers and Royals. 2 righties on the mound. A little different than today, right? Because the Brewers are facing a left-hander. Brewers are, where are they at? I mean, of course they're better than versus left-handers, but that's because they're really bad versus left-handers. They're a tick below the Royals when it comes to right-handed numbers. Royals strike out less. They hit better. They have a little less power. That's why their weighted runs created is a little bit less too. So Milwaukee bringing a little bit power to the plate. A little bit more, not much. I would like the Royals again tomorrow. Seth Lugo's too. He's been pitching well. Padres and Cubs. Imi Manga. Oh, shit. We'll keep an eye. See how many strikeouts. See what Justin Steele can do. But that's going to be consecutive days facing a left-hander. So definitely keep an eye on that. Let's see how good Steele can be. And I'll go right back to the Cubs again tomorrow. Mariners and Twins. 2 righties on the mound. I would like the Twins again, I'm sure. Mets and Cardinals, to be determined for starters, so skip that. And then Giants, Rockies, Dakota Hudson, over on my walks. We talked about this guy. He's a walk machine. It doesn't matter who he's facing to, what their walk percentage are. This dude is handing out free bases. So, and then he's facing Kyle Harrison, a left-hander. Rockies, yeah, good versus left-handers. Giants, though, are okay. Nah. Yeah, Rockies definitely have an advantage. We'll see what the numbers come in. And then Edward Cabrera is taking on Yamamoto, 2 right-handers. Really not going to change much with the handicapping, other than Cabrera has the ability to strike out people, but the Dodgers are really good at 16.5%. So would assume the Dodgers win that game as well with Yamamoto. He can keep them off. So there you go. There's your MLB look ahead. A few spots where you can keep an eye on for tomorrow. All right, there it is, boys. Enjoy your Monday. Thanks for hanging out with me. Appreciate you guys hanging out. And yeah, let's cash these suckers, and we'll get out with you guys again tomorrow. Enjoy the day.